Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal.
The Michael Dukes Show.
The greed and the entitlement is astounding to me.
What more could you want from a low-budget radio program?
This is a dumpster fire.
That was just BS.
It is time to get a new perspective.
We know just what you need, and we've got just the cure. Open wide and prepare for a steaming hot cup of freedom.
I just don't fathom it.
The Michael Dukes Show, streaming live across the world.
Yep, live around the world on the interwebs at MichaelDukesShow.com and across the state of Alaska. And this is your favorite radio station and or FM translator. Good morning and welcome to the program. Hump Day. Quack, quack. Everybody's a duck today. There's so much water. It's good, though. I mean, you know, we needed a little bit of that. My wife said the upside to this is that she hasn't had to water her houseplants her flowers in 2 weeks. So, I mean, there's always a plus, right? There's always a silver lining somewhere to something that's going on here. Welcome to the program for today. We've got a jam-packed show for us today. Joining us here in hour one is a candidate for State Senate District F. Harold Borbridge is going to be joining us here in just a hot second. We're going to talk with him about his plan to try and help save the state's fiscal future. We'll see what his answers are. Now, Harold is well known to those of us here who listen to the show and hang out in the chat room on a daily basis, and so he's always got some interesting ideas. We'll see how those translates to the larger public, and whether or not he's got. You think he's got what it takes to go out there and save us in the state legislature. So we'll talk to him here in just a second. In hour two, we'll be talking with State Senator Mike Shower for the Shower Hour of Power. That'll be in hour two of the program today. Tomorrow on the program, J.D. Tuccelli from Reason Magazine is going to be joining us in hour two. And I'm actually working on one more. Emma Camp may be joining us in hour one from Reason Magazine. Maybe a whole Reason day. Tomorrow. Some interesting things developing out there that they've been writing about, and I wanted to highlight their work out there tomorrow. And then Friday is, of course, Firearms Friday. So something it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, we are all ready. I think we're right up against it. We're ready to go. Harold Borbridge waiting in the wings here in the green room. And we're going to pull him in here and start the conversation this morning. Let's see how this goes. And look at that. We're all good. Good morning, Harold. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Thanks for coming on board and joining us.
Great show. I love this show.
He loves the show. He's always got a comment. He's always pithy. He's always got something interesting to say. We don't always agree, but it should be an interesting conversation. So, Harold, District F down in Anchorage for the Senate. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you came from, for folks who don't know about you, and then we'll discuss the run for the House or for the State Senate here.
Well, I don't know. I'm not into this, like where I'm from and all this business. I was born in Sitka, lifelong, and I think you and I have some connections in Sitka. You were there about the same time I was. I think you were a kid.
My dad was in Sitka. My dad was actually spent time in Sheldon Jackson in Sitka back in the day.
Yeah, good old Uncle John. He was working up there at the time. But born and raised in Sitka, lifelong Alaskan. Just just going about my business and went and got an education, went to the UAF, got a couple of business degrees, went to work for the state, school finance, was down there for the calculations. I was actually minding my own business in DNR, and they came down and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" Minding my own business. Right. So we went down there and did the calculations for SB 36, which is what the education formula you're using today. We work with the commissioner and managers and stuff and get did all the calculations for that. It turned into a job, so went to do other things, like went to work for the oil companies. As an analyst. Actually, I think I was probably the last person to sell gas to Japan. I think they closed it up after that. It wasn't very economical, but it was a fun job. And followed my dad's advice and said, hey, you got to do it on your own. So we hung a shingle and been busy for the last 20 years. We just busy.
Outside in the public sector. So you were there, and you're talking about the base student allocation, of course, which is you were there when it was factored in, and you've had a lot of good input, I thought. Don't agree on a lot of things, but on the base student allocation and the fact that some of the fixes we can get for education, I think, and we're going to get into that here in a second, but you do have some background there, which is good. What made you decide to, like you said, been in the private sector for 20 years. What made you decide that now is the time to get back into the public eye?
Well, I don't know if I'm in the public eye. They basically ignore me. The only time people call me is when they need something. Diana figured that out after a year. She says, people call you. You have a lot of friends, but they only call when you need something. So I said, yeah, that's true. It's been the last 10 years. You and I have both seen this over the last 10 years, what's going on with the state. It didn't really start with Walker. I think it started with Parnell when he revised the state taxes and then went down that road, kind of put the state on the skids.
Right. And had a budget that was so large that we drained $14 billion.
That idea, you're a conservative Republican and holy smokes, look at me, I'm limited, but have a $20 billion budget.
Right.
That just didn't work out. And so you're in a situation right now today where you're bloated your government. Okay. I think I sent you a graph earlier showing the revenues versus the expenditures. I don't know if you can put that up.
I can show that for folks out there that want to see it.
Yeah. And then over the last couple of sessions, I've been paying attention. I think I ran against Josh back in 2020, simply because some of the principles that, you just had to do it, jump in the race. I'm not going to get anywhere. I don't have a lot of Republican support because a lot of them are old school folks. They've been around for years and years, and they're going to support folks who they like. But you look at the graph, and this is straight out of the state. And in one bar it's revenues, the other bar is expenditures, and we've been doing this for the last 10 years, spending more. Yeah, we're not spending within our means here. We're just and then they figure out how come our PFD is going away. Well, there's your graph right there, folks.